OK, today we add, of course, to our Trump collection of different stories. So let us start this segment. Yeah, what's he done now? So the first thing is in The Guardian, he's imposed sanctions on the ICC. This is the International Criminal Court. Now, the USA doesn't join that because they don't want to be prosecuted for things. But Trump says they are unfairly targeting Israel, and therefore the US is going to target them. What do you think, Christian?
Yeah, so they're going to impose sanctions on the International Criminal Court and family members of people on the criminal court, including asset freezes and travel bans. Look, I don't know if financial sanctions are the most effective way to deal with it, but I do think there's a problem. I think the International Criminal Court were wrong to put out an arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu, who, as far as I'm concerned, has conducted a legal military campaign against terrorists who were holding hundreds of his citizens hostage in Gaza.
How did he manage to kill so many children then?
Well, look, firstly, that was an inevitability, I'm afraid.
Well,
very distressing.
If it was inevitable, he should have seen it coming.
Yeah, but well, look, if Hamas are hiding in primary schools and putting weapons in hospitals and setting up in residential blocks and indeed in refugee camps in Gaza, then as precise as you want, you either have to say either we'll let the terrorists off or we'll give those areas due warning, say get out of those areas because we're going to be firing a missile.
Do you agree with this, Helen, out of interest?
I think it's obviously really difficult, really complicated, but I think, the country will be split on it. But, it's very difficult to see that, war crimes have been committed all over the place, I think.
Sorry, you think war crimes have been committed by Israel?
But I would say that show me the evidence, because it looks to us like they have been, because it looks like he has killed, or not him personally, but his troops have killed thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And it's very difficult to understand how that isn't a war crime.
I don't know whether... The thing is this, I suppose, America doesn't take part in the ICC, which is the slight kink in this. So they haven't got a relation, they're not going into a room and having a relationship. So they're basically just attacking it. And that's what Trump does, isn't it?
Well, it's more sensible than we've got ourselves, Britain, into a situation where we had this debate when they put the arrest warrant out for Benjamin Netanyahu about whether Keir Starmer would be willing to put an arrest warrant out for Benjamin Netanyahu if he visited Britain. I mean, you can't have diplomatic relations with an important friend and country like Israel and agree that this arrest warrant is valid. And also, I just think it plays into the hands of Hamas in saying that Israel are the bad guys because the International Criminal Court has said
OK,
so.
we mentioned more than one Trump story. I think there's going to be more than one Trump story every day for the next 4 years. The other one is he is declaring war on women's sports, or rather trans people in women's sports. He says... Here we are. Let's just read this. Trump declares war on women's sports is over as he unveils plan to ban trans athletes from Olympics. So we can have a listen to what he said.
In Los Angeles in 2028, my administration will not stand by and watch men beat and batter female athletes, and we're just not going to let it happen, and it's going to end, and it's ending right now, and nobody's going to be able to do a damn thing about it, because when I speak, we speak with authority.
What do you think of that, Helen? Right decision?
I think there needs to be more discussion worldwide rather than just Trump making a decision. I think it is very hard for women particularly to see trans people change and then win competitions. So I think it's problematic, and I don't think the answer is just to suddenly ban. There needs, there needs to be more discussion worldwide, and not a decision for Trump to make.
But the thing is, the left are looking at this thinking, oh my goodness, that was an open goal.
Yeah.
And they've given the kind of answer you just given, which is to say, well, we don't know. And Trump has just gone and scored immediately with it.
I was going to say, the optics of that press conference surrounded, and then when he signed the executive order, surrounded by particularly very young female athletes, girls. You're right. That is the way to describe it. It's a massive open goal that the left especially in America, but across the West, have allowed right-wing politicians to score. That shouldn't have been. The fact that the left have prioritised transgender athletes over young women and girls is shocking.
Well, you've got people like
it's part of the reason why the Democrats lost so badly.
Joanna Cherry in the SNP, you'll know, fell out with Sturgeon over it. Rosie Duffield fell out with Keir Starmer. So but you're right, it's a really weird thing, just not about the rights and wrongs, it's just the politics. I'm not taking a view on the rights and wrongs. But it's an absolute open goal to hold that press conference, and no one has done it.
And you think when women are 51% of the population versus trans people 0.05% of the population, you think, why would you make that call?